You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Time to fire up the VCR. This one's my favorite. That was gold.
Welcome to Analog Jones in the Temple of Film. I'm Steve.
And I'm Matt.
And we're a VHS podcast that's actually doing a VHS this week.
Yay!
We're breaking down everything. Well, this is a newer film that's on VHS.
Yeah, this is kind of funny. Like, we are doing a new movie, but it is still tied to our nostalgia.
What are we watching, Matt?
We're going to watch Antrum, the deadliest film ever made on VHS.
This is the forest where the devil landed when he was cast out of heaven. And at that spot, we'll find the entrance to hell. The Antrum. The deeper we dig, the more the forest around us becomes darker. And with each layer that we pass, deeper in hell we'll be.
Yeah, this is fun. I like these type independent films. Like, this obviously wasn't made in the 70s.
Right. But you had to ask me, though, because it's very convincing.
I had to ask you because they do a very good job of making it look like it was. Now, I was almost for certain that it wasn't. But there was times where I'm like, is this digital to 35? There's no way they paid for a 35 millimeter film, right?
I actually don't know. They're very quiet about how they did the middle chunk of this movie. I don't know if they shot it on 35. I don't know if they just film looked it or what, but I have no idea because it's really hard to find any information about the film within the film here.
Yeah, and we both watched it. I watched it on my computer. You gave me an ability to. That's all I'll say. And you had it on VHS.
Yes. The VHS of this came out around Thanksgiving time, around Black Friday, of course. BrokeHorrorFan.com put it out with Witter Entertainment. It was limited to 50 copies. They are now sold out. So you guys can't see it on VHS, unfortunately, but we can still talk about the movie and sort of the experience of watching it on VHS. A little bit here. But yes, it's limited run, I guess you would call it. Limited run VHS that came out this year.
It's a perfect movie to do this with.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I snagged it up really fast.
Yeah, because it probably won't. They probably can't produce enough of these to like keep going.
Right.
Because I mean, it's got to be pretty scary to produce VHSs and just like how many people are going to buy this?
50 people bought these. Pretty fast.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if they did another 50 on these at some point.
But still, think about that. 100.
Yeah, 100 VHSs being sold at $25 a pop. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, there were 50 of these when I snagged this. So I guess my history with this movie was finding it sort of by accident, and then through contacting the directors and programming it in my festival, the Windy City Horrorama, this in 2019, this past year's festival. So as soon as it came out on VHS, I needed to snag it up because obviously I liked it because I had a hand in programming it, but also it was a cool film to find too.
Yeah, right when I first saw because you guys played this, was it Windy City Horrorama? Mm-hmm. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was it was Windy City Horrorama, but I don't know if it was during the festival or if it was during I can't remember.
Yeah, this was festival proper. This wasn't one of the monthlies.
Yeah. This is one of the ones that pissed me off. I could not see. And I said at the beginning, I go, that was one of the ones that stuck out to me. I just pointed to nowhere. And right when I saw it, I was like, okay, I dug it. And there's certain things do we just want to talk about the buildup of the film?
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the cover at all first, or do we want to get into the movie and then go back to it? Because this one's a weird one. This is a weird one for sure.
I know, because I kind of forget there's a cover right in front of me because it's a limited.
It's a new
release.
movie.
And this is a great cover.
Yeah, we've got this like devil goat head figure on the cover here with the Antrum symbol being held by like a kid's hand, and it's like a painted cover, and it says Antrum, the deadliest film ever made, and that's kind of it. And I think it works in its simplicity here.
I love this goat prop that they have in the movie, and I love that it's painted, drawn here. This is badass. Oh, I just noticed the book thing in the book in the back.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Curious. Any trailers in this? They make any fake ones? Okay,
no.
all right.
All they did for the VHS that was different from maybe the online version you saw was there's a intro supposedly from the actress from the 70s movie who is like a blurred out face older woman, because obviously it's not the same woman because it's not a movie from the 70s, but they were smart enough to get an older actress to play the young actress. And it says on this VHS, like, special features introduction by actress Nicole Tompkins or whatever. The introduction is literally just a blurred out face, her sitting down, and she goes, "Don't watch this movie." And then it starts.
I like it.
Yeah. But some of the other fun things that come with it. Well, let me read you the description so you know what this is about. And then I will tell you some of the fun things that come with the VHS before we get into the movie. So it says in the back, "Watch at your own risk. Rumored to have been lost, Antrum appears as a cursed film from the 70s. Viewers are warned to proceed with caution. It's said to be a story about a young boy and girl who enter the forest to save the soul of their recently deceased pet. They journey to the Antrum, the very spot the devil landed after being cast out of heaven. There, the children begin to dig a hole to hell." So, what you're seeing is a cursed film. And what it comes with a liability and a letter from the directors warning you to not watch the movie. You got, like, the liability thing you can, like, sign and everything. Like, they went all out with this. And then there's, like, a letter, I'm pulling them out, from the directors also. So, the letter is pretty sweet. It's like, also thanking you for, supporting the movie and buying the VHS and stuff like that. And then the liability thing is more like, you're going to die if you watch this.
I like the William Castle going all out with the, like, I mean, obviously it's, not shocking the seats, but how they're treating it real.
They treat it 100% real.
And it's great. I kind of really like that.
And sort of, if you guys aren't aware of this movie or never heard of it before, sort of the framing of it is a documentary that is explaining to you about all these cursed events that anytime somebody has watched or screened or tried to do a screening of the movie Antrum, all these horrible things that have happened. And it's sort of the bookend is a documentary telling you of all these cursed things that this movie has. And then, it's very smart, the filmmakers go, okay, now you're going to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Since the dawn of cinema, we've been making movies about hell and the devil, and they've been, just films. So they've been safe. Antrum is not safe.
And I'm glad we're talking about a movie like this. Obviously, we're going to spoil the movie. So if you want to see the movie, you can rent it on YouTube. You can rent it on Amazon. You can rent it. I'm sure there's other one. Voodoo, I believe, has it now.
And then you can also buy it like pretty cheap at Walmarts and stuff. Uncorked put it out, so you can pick this up.
Yeah,
pretty much anywhere right now.
And I like talking about movies like that. Like, there's some movies I'm like, well, I don't want to talk about it because I want the filmmaker to make money. But if we don't talk about a film like this, it can't get out there. This movie is very well crafted.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. We're gonna spoil it. Turn it off if you turn us off.
Yeah, turn it off, watch it, and then
come back. The comeback is really important for us.
But you may not come back because it may kill you.
Good point. Oh shit, we're gonna lose a lot of dedicated listeners. So here we go. The setup on this is awesome. I'm like, of course this is fake. I know this is fake, but there are certain parts where I'm like, is this real?
Yeah, it's still it still gets under your skin even if you know sort of the conceit of it or whatever. You're like, okay, it's a gimmick, but like
It's a good gimmick.
It's still creepy.
It's good because they commit so hard.
Yeah. And anytime you mess with demons or hell or whatever, even if your movie is fake, obviously, like this movie is, you're still messing with stuff that's creepy. You know, you hear the stories about stuff that went wrong on the Poltergeist set or stuff that went wrong on the Exorcist set. You know, anytime you mess with stuff like this, stuff is creepy. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're still, even though it's a movie, you're watching this cursed film, you're like, but how much of this is still going to fuck me up?
Yeah, because I'm sure a lot of our loyal listeners know that I'm agnostic. I don't believe in any, I don't know what's out there, but I don't believe in a lot of nonsense we have. Devil, God, whatever, bullshit. But what I do love is how people react to their beliefs. Actually, love's not a right word because I think most people are monstrous. But what I'm saying is, it's like the satanic panic.
Right.
How people can convince themselves of something that's clearly not there, but it is there in their mind.
Right.
And it can make them, it can change them. I mean, that's scientific proof. Mm-hmm. And listen to me, I'm a doctor.
Yes.
A doctor in bullshit.
Yes. It's true.
Analog bullshit.
Yes, that's right. You've got your PhD in analog bullshit.
So it's great, like when they're introducing this, and I think it was 3. Was it 3 incidents? I can't believe I didn't write down the year it happened. Sometime in the 70s, and they were showing it in Bangladesh. I did not write it down.
Yeah, there was originally going to be like, was it the festival screening that it was, or was the festival later?
The festival's later. Well, no, this was the first screening that they had ever done.
Okay.
It was in some theater in a foreign country. I want to say Bangladesh.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But so the film played and the whole theater burned down. Everyone died. And then when they investigated it, it turned out, and they brought in that older gentleman who was playing the investigator. He was great.
Yeah.
He's the one, like, that actor right there kind of freaked me out. I'm like, this is not real, but that guy, is this real?
Shit out of it. They're selling the shit out of it.
And he was like, yeah, when we investigated it, we found that the film, and then he was like, there's science behind why the film caused the actual fire was good. And I think it was true.
Yeah,
like
nitrate,
nitrate film
starts fires.
Is highly explosive.
Yeah.
Well, not explosive, I'm sorry, highly flammable, and it burns very fast.
Yes.
So a lot of the film can burn itself up before it starts a real fire.
Right.
But if there's enough of it, which I'm assuming since it's in a theater, I don't know how you trace that. I'm sure there's, my cousin's a fireman, but I know the way people investigate fires, where they initiate start, is just amazing to me. I don't know, because to me, I look at it, I go, oh, everything's full ash. How the fuck you do this? But I'm sure they're like geniuses behind it. But anyway, this guy pulled it off.
Yeah, no, they sell the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then it talks about them submitting to festivals and people that were like festival jurors and people deciding on the movie, programmers. I forgot what they're called, but you know, I do it. What are we called? I don't know. Like the programmers died or got mysteriously sick or couldn't finish watching.
Yeah, the people
movie.
screening the films to see if it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they were like trying to figure out what was going to go in a festival or just screeners like, oh, this is going into the festival. I assumed that it was like people who were journalists.
Yeah, so it's something like that. But people were watching this movie to decide on what to do with the movie or where to screen it somewhere else or whatever. Yeah. And then they went crazy or died or got sick or whatever.
And we had the LSD and the popcorn butter.
And then
that was the second
screening.
one.
Yeah, that was they actually screened it again, and people went crazy during the screening. And then it was found out later that the popcorn guy was putting LSD in all the popcorn, which is hilarious.
I think they missed a spot to put a mugshot of a guy.
Yeah, it could have. That would have been really funny.
Because it would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I think they just did a picture of him, and I was like, you should have did a mugshot. I don't know why they didn't. I'm surprised.
They thought of it all. They just missed that one.
Well, yeah, and it's not really like I'm hammering on the filmmakers. Putting together a film or even doing an hour-long podcast, you just forget shit.
Yep.
People, it goes on the radar, and then someone says something like that, and they're like, "Oh shit, yeah, you're right." But then it just keeps going with like people talking about the history of this film and how, so you guys have a screening. I think one of the guys like, so you have it? And I think he couldn't figure out if he's going to watch it.
Yeah. And what's at least when I was first jumping into the movie, and it's something that unfortunately the listeners won't get out of this, but like when I was watching the movie, I didn't know we were going to see the movie. You know what I mean? I just was like, they're doing a documentary thing. We're going to see clips from it. We're going to hear horror stories about things that happen. But then when the movie, like, after 20 minutes of being a documentary is like, and now we're going to show you Antrum. And I was like, fuck.
I was a little confused too. I didn't know. I was like, okay. I thought maybe we were going to show clips from it and they were going to do something. I didn't know what they were going to do. I really did not know what was happening. So the way I watched it was, a screener for the festival. Mm-hmm. And it was good because now I can talk about it and it worked for the festival. So you gave it to me. You were very nice. And I watched it in the middle of the night.
You fucked up.
No, I didn't.
Well, or you got the best possible experience.
It was wonderful because I had no idea what was coming. I never even watched a trailer except the first trailer you showed me many, many moons ago.
Yeah. The one that you probably put on the website.
Yeah. And it was, someone sent me that link. I was like, I want to see that. Like, there's a lot of things when we see these, when you show me the trailers for these, that I'm like, I want to see that. I'm okay with that. It's kind of like, I know my style, but I still was surprised by a few in these last two festivals where I'm like, I really enjoyed that. People, be open-minded.
Try things.
So when they started actually playing the movie, I was like, is it? They're going to do it. And I have a note right here. I said, documentary setup was a really nice touch. Paints an eerie picture of what could happen. And then immediately, dog dies. And I go, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and I said, the needle made me feel sick. A little sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they even do the thing, too, where they play with the sound to make you feel sick while you're watching the movie. There's certain, levels of the sound mix that are in there to make you feel anxiety, make you feel depressed, make you feel sick. Yeah, and they started off right away. Just
so I'm more of a visual person. The audio never because I know I was hearing that and the things they're doing, and I think it's great because it works on a lot of auditory. How do you say that? Where people learn more through hearing, or they have more feelings towards it. But that needle when it dripped. Because they're I when I was younger, I saw someone who had cancer get a needle. They got a shot through a needle that still menaces me. It just not menaces me. It still shakes me to the core. And I saw that and I just felt sick. And I was like, good for you guys. Yeah. Other than fuck you for having a dog die.
Yeah. And that literally is how they start you off. Yeah. So there's no time for you to be like, okay, I'm safe. I'm watching a movie. It's gonna get scary. It's gonna get sad or whatever. Nope. Right off the bat, you're like, this is gonna be. They're gonna punish me the whole time I'm watching this.
And then I got a little lost, mostly for my own. It's my own fault because I'm watching on my computer. It's hard to watch movies on your computer. For me, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I don't do it. Yeah, I always throw it on the TV if I can.
Yeah, I should have. But so then I look up and I go, wait, we're in Suicide Woods? What happened? And that was 30 seconds, folks. So it doesn't take long for my brain to go. But I got it. I was like, I see what we're doing here. Because when they showed the sign at first, I was like, what? That made me feel weird.
Yeah, they're going to a suicide forest to bury their dog. They're going to dig a hole to hell to bury their dog to bring him back. That's their plan.
This is the mother's story that she has told to the kid. We don't know that yet.
Right.
But we will find out. So he puts down the collar, which immediately made me feel sad. And I thought the dog's name was Max. But my next note was this is shot really well like a 70s film with the yellow tint, the scratches, which we see that all the time in these. But what really got me is they stuck to the long shots of 30. Sometimes I felt like there was 30 seconds between cuts.
Yeah, one of the things I think a lot of people forget when they do these 70s, 80s grindhouse homages and stuff is they still cut like we do today. Mm-hmm. They always forget that, like, in those 70s movies, those shots are long. Those scenes are long.
I explained this to a person in their early 20s. He's like, yeah, why do they always do that? And I'm like, well, back in that day, when you had to do a cut, you had to literally cut the film. So if you have 4,000 cuts in a film, I'm just putting out a number. In a modern day film, I don't even know how many cuts there are. I know there's like an average cut like every 5 seconds. And that's, in a Michael Bay, it's probably every 1.2 seconds, you know? But so the whole thing is like, you don't literally cut it. That's why we call it a cut. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, it sounds awful. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, but that filmmakers cared. We're like, yeah, we're going to sit and splice our movie together now. Yeah, so, that's what it was. And film was expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cutting all that film when it was falling on the ground, that was money.
Right. So that's why shots are longer, things are more patient, but also the filmmakers were more patient too to tell their story. So
because they had to think out every shot more.
You're right, exactly. They had to plan ahead because time is money.
It's a double-edged sword. Now we get more experimental shots because it doesn't cost.
Right.
Back then, it was more thought out.
Right.
So double-edged.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing today.
There's some great experimental stuff that we wouldn't have been able to do before. That's awesome. But then also we have people that use constant cuts as a crutch.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then, okay, so I'm just going to go through my notes and then maybe we can tell the story better than we usually do. What's up with the crazy book? That was my thing. Because I was like, huh? So did she pick this up at a library? We don't really need to know. It was just a question I was asking myself.
Yeah.
Because she's reading from it.
Yeah, she picked up this book that'll that they read the passage, and then I really like how they use the book in the movie then to kind of do the act chapters. Yes, yeah. I was really creepy and weird. It just made me feel uncomfortable.
I felt like I knew where I was going, even though I was in woods I'll never go in. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it has a structure to it that still feels like you can. Some films do it well. Where you can have the chapter 1, chapter 2, This one I think does it really well. I liked it. And then I got Japanese guy trying to commit suicide was weird.
Yeah. They interrupt him.
and he apologizes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I didn't I don't need to get it. I don't know why this guy who's trying to kill himself would then get caught and then apologize for not. Right. Was he apologizing for not committing, or was he apologizing for the inconvenience of them? I don't know.
It made, I don't know why, but this one makes me feel something too. Maybe it is a little sick or whatever, but it's you're catching somebody at their most vulnerable at that point. That guy has made the choice, has decided, is preparing to kill himself, which is a very obviously final thing, a very finite thing. And then this kid is just hey, what are you doing? And the way he just reacts and stops, I was like, oof. That's rough. That's real rough.
Yep. It was, yeah. It was, anytime, but he did stop the suicide. Well, at least for now.
But at the same time, that was that guy's choice, and he made it all the way over to the forest and everything, and that's what the forest is for. So it's that's kind of fucked up that he stopped that. Yeah, you want to save the guy, but at the same time, it's not your play. I don't know. Yeah, but it makes you feel uncomfortable either way. Either way, it shakes out.
I'm not the kind of person who's oh, you saved his life. Who knows what'll go on? No, I was just hey, at least that kid did something, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. He's probably just going to walk to the other side of the woods and do it.
I got to go away from these fucking kids.
Yeah. And then digging a hole to look for something. What are they looking for? Oh, the dog's name is Maxine. I thought it was Max. I had no idea it was...
Maybe they call it... I don't know, but maybe they say Max at one point, and then the full name is Maxine, I guess. Maybe.
I do like how they're finding little things in the ground when they're digging this hole too, which I love, because as soon as they're doing it, I go, well, this is clearly just made up. And what I mean that is just she's telling kid, oh, we'll just dig a hole to hell, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's how that works. But later on, when you understand that she made up the story for the child, now it does.
Right.
Because she's like, what will a kid understand? Oh, we're just going to dig a hole down.
Yeah.
Like when you tell you, oh, you keep digging that hole, you're going to get to China.
Right. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So Crazy Statue was a great prop because they start going farther along into the woods. I don't quite know why, but they go farther along in the woods, and then they come upon a giant bronze prop of a goat.
Mm-hmm.
With that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a goat man, like statue thing, but like the goat head's huge and stuff. It's really creepy looking. And right around this time leads to probably the scariest scene in the movie, which is when the movie stops and you like the demon makes eye contact with you, the viewer, for like a minute straight.
Yeah, I was like, well, this is disturbing.
It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, maybe not disturbing, very uncomfortable.
Right, and you want to like look away because it's like looking you, the viewer, in the eyes as you're sitting there.
I was waiting for it to like leap out or do anything. Nothing.
And because it doesn't do anything, I think that's what makes it scary.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to.
Right.
And then, was that dude humping a dead deer? Yep.
Yes, he was. We've got some crazy devil-worshipping hillbillies that are like, the one guy's just running around in his underwear.
No, tidy whities.
Stained tidy whities. And fucking dead deer corpses.
Yeah. And then I said, wait, are they killing someone in that crazy brass statue, bronze statue? Yep.
Yeah.
They're like, so I think this is an old torture from like the Roman days, or maybe even the Bible, where they would stick people in, like bronze and then fire it on it because it would just boil you alive. Or like I think the humidity would rise, so whatever, I don't know what it is. But your like skin would just melt off. It's fucked up.
Yeah. There's some fucked up shit going on in these satanic hillbillies little farm that they have going on here.
Yeah, my note is run, and then control that kid and get the fuck out. And then Nathan falls in the water.
Yeah.
And that's the child's name. I don't even know the mother's name, but I do know the kid's name.
Well, that's the sister. We see the mother.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. This is the sister with him.
Yeah. And probably because, well, maybe it was on purpose, who knows, but that actress, maybe they liked her and they're like, well, she's too young to be the mom.
And I think having two kids out there makes it creepier because they're on their own, and it's set in the 70s. It was fine for kids to go play in the woods on their own, which we like probably can't do anymore, but like
they can. It's just everyone's terrified of everything.
Everyone's terrified of everything. But like to have two kids out in the woods digging a hole to hell I think is what makes it creepier. Yeah. No adult supervision for that.
And then the kid, that kid, he was starting to annoy me at certain points, and obviously it's on purpose.
Right.
And I said, made it back to camp. I wouldn't stop. I was like, nope, I'm going home. Never coming back. And then I said, this kid freaks out, and he's giving me Babadook flashbacks.
Absolutely, yeah. He's just kind of like, now he's just an annoying kid.
Yeah. I was like, what is your problem? You better hit that kid with a stick. Yeah, I said it. I lied to you, kid. Your dog isn't in hell. I love how she's like, listen, I said he was in hell. I'm like, why?
They could dig a hole to hell.
Because at one point she says, I think at the beginning, she's like, oh no, he's not going to heaven. He was bad. And I was like, well, that was fucked up.
Yeah. Just to add more layers of fucked up to this movie story.
But I did wonder if they'd ever show the 3-headed dog beast. I didn't think they would. They kind of did, but they didn't.
Yeah, I like what they kind of did with it. I like the allusion to the Cerberus. I don't know how to pronounce it. Cerberus. Yeah.
Whatever.
However you say it. But yeah, they kind of allude to it when they're at the camp.
Great illustration.
Yeah. All the illustrations in this are really cool.
Yeah, it really is. And then Crazy Hillbillies are back.
Yep. And now they got them in cages.
Yeah, when the kid runs, I was like, kid, what is wrong with you? He like runs around and they shoot the kid. And then they shoot the sister, and I was like, when they shoot him with like little 22s? Like, or what? I mean, they were shot.
Yes.
But they're fine in the cages.
Yeah, well, I think they're in shock, freaking out, trying to get out of the cages.
Well, yeah.
But they'd get shot.
That tidy whitey hillbilly is extra creepy.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the horns.
Yes.
So he humped a dead deer, but he already has like a horn hat.
Yes. Extra creepy.
What?
Extra creepy. Extra weird.
And then they fucking grab the kid. They stick him in the statue and try to burn him alive.
Yep.
And the sister freaks out. And I do love that she just goes extra, like, protection. Like, she's doing what she's got to do to save him and her.
Yeah.
And she just fucking shoots them both.
Yep. Survival mode.
Yeah. And I was like, hell yeah, you go, girl.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, that's sort of... That's kind of... So this is where it gets weird. When they do sort of the end... after they get away. But then there's more of the movie.
I was trying to understand. Maybe they were inspired by something else we don't know about.
Yeah, I didn't know what that choice was about. That was kind of a weird choice. I liked it, though, still. Because you kind of do finish that story, and then you see more of, like, kind of the hell story, but...
Yeah, it ends with... Oh, no, the kid's, like, walking alone in the woods. Because Yeah, well... And then he, like, saves a dog from a bear trap of some sort. And I said, why so much dog anger and pain? And then I go, that's strange, ... I guess they saved the dog's life. Wait, it's not over. Yeah, because he stares into the camera. And I actually thought, oh, that's kind of a really good way to end it. And then it's her running. And then she gets in the tent. And then the kid comes at the tent. But she's got this, like, 6-shooter revolver. And she's just pointing it at the doorway. And then it ends again. And I guess it's up to you, does she shoot or not?
Right.
And I was thinking, how many bullets she got left in that?
Yeah, because she takes out the hillbillies, so...
Well, she's at least 4 shots on them. But there was a couple, the accidental shot at the very beginning when they're digging the hole. So I was like, did she shoot it again? It's not like I went back to count. But I was thinking, I think she's out of bullets. And maybe that's just me being an optimist. Yeah,
I don't know. This movie paints a picture where she probably shoots the brother.
That's what I assume.
Yeah, to save him from the Cerberus or whatever is coming.
That's I think she thinks it's the 3-headed beast Cerberus. I don't know. Maybe
but
that's
it's to be like assumed by whoever is watching it.
Then the best part of this is all of the explanation of why things happen. Almost like trying to decipher why this happened and how it might not be anything to do with the devil or whatever, Cerberus. And it was kind of cool because then they go into the same thing that I believe. It's just like, it might not be true at all. But when people believe it, it can become true to them. It changes their, like, brain chemistry.
Yeah. And they talk about, like, sort of, like, they talk about the sound thing and how it, like, messes with the viewer. And then they talk about the scratched in images that are scratched into the film. And you'll see them throughout. Besides the scratched in images, there's also, like, this, like, cut to almost what looks like a snuff film that has been added to, like, the background of the movie.
I was trying to figure that. I had no idea what that...
But there's no explanation for it or whatever. But I think it's extra creepy that they just, like, every now and again the movie will just cut to, like, 2 people being tortured. But you don't really see much of that.
It's a man and a woman. That's all we know.
Yeah.
In, like, a concrete facility.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucked up. I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't look like her. And then I kind of figured out this isn't even them.
Yeah. So they kind of talk about that at the end, like how this may have been added later. Like, this may not actually have been part of the 70s film Antrum. Maybe somebody got a hold of the print and was putting in their own snuff, which makes it, again, extra creepy. That, like,
we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know the story.
Don't know if it's fake snuff, it's real snuff.
Right.
Yeah, because most snuff that they'd ever find in investigations, you find out, are completely fake. Because people don't
weird.
do that.
It's just people being weird.
Yeah, but now people make films of them breaking the laws, and it's like, thanks for the evidence. Like, I think that's why most snuff was never real. Maybe some was. It's like, it's just evidence.
Right. That's true.
So, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
as a whole.
I think this is a super queasy, super uncomfortable, super just under your skin kind of creepy film. That like, yeah, as soon as we got the screener, I was just like, fuck, we gotta do this. Like, this is so cool. And yeah, like I love, like you mentioned, the William Castle sort of thing they build into the movie already. Like, they don't need to travel with the movie and do the thing. That's so smart in my brain to have those 20 minutes of that documentary footage bookending the movie. So smart. It really sells the movie for me.
Yeah, it's great. Highly recommend this.
Me too. I really like this one.
Yeah, so we both completely recommend it.
Yeah, like I said, you might not be able to find this VHS, unfortunately, unless they do another run of it, which they might because this sold out so fast. But definitely pick up the DVD or do streaming or whatever you normally do to watch new stuff. Antrum, the Deadliest Film Ever Made. I recommend this wholeheartedly.
This is the second time I've had to reclaim my property from you. That belongs in a museum. So do you.
Yeah, if we're going to go to the museum and put something in there, I'm going to do the illustrations in the book.
I have to put in the moment the movie pauses and the demons looking at you, the viewer, is one of the creepiest scenes I've seen in a movie in years.
Yeah, I was wondering if they put like something between the person and the camera to like an old school in-camera effect to do that.
There's something off about it. It's not just a guy standing in a dark room. It's something off about the way it's like looking at you. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. But it's such a great movie moment that I think this is super, super cool and creepy in there. So that's probably my favorite. That's what I got to put in the museum for this one.
Right on. All right, come back next week. We're doing a sci-fi film.
Yeah. Come on back, and I'm sure that's what our listeners are chewing at the bit for.
Shirtless dudes.
Yeah, a lot of oil.
Yep. All right, remember to be kind.
And rewind.